Am I the asshole for threatening to make my girlfriend's little brother leave? I'm 25M, going to start with the fact that I can't stand the little shit, 16M sometimes. He is frequently obnoxious and inconsiderate. It's like his only purpose in life is to aggravate everyone within his airspace. He came over tonight to hang out. As soon as he comes inside, he sat behind the counter and told me to get him a soda. My girlfriend 23F corrected him and said, "It's may I have a soda please, and in the first place, you can get it yourself." He got the soda and put his feet up in one of the other chairs behind the counter. I told him, "That's not how we sit in those chairs, take your shoes off or move your feet." He didn't move them, so I pulled the chair out from underneath his feet. He then went into the living room and picked up our Shih Tzu, she is mostly mine, and started throwing her in the air. She was clearly afraid and panicked. We were both yelling at him to put her down, which he only did when I told him to put her down or call his parents to come get him. He looked at his sister, who was looking at me like shocked Pikachu. As she was getting ready for bed, she said, "He's just a kid, you know," I said, "and one day he'll be a man with no respect or empathy for others." She went to bed mad about it. Am I the asshole for threatening to kick him out? He's 16. That's beyond, just a kid. The worst part was when he threw the dog in the air, sad face, my heart edit, huge, not the asshole. And one day he'll be a man with no respect or empathy for others. Well said. Kid is going to get poked along the way. Not the asshole. 16 is definitely old enough to know how to behave as well as how to treat a helpless animal. You'd better be careful. Girlfriend is going to make excuses for his behavior until something bad happens to your little dog. Her acting like he doesn't know any better can have tragic results. Not the asshole. The kid is 16, not 6. He sounds like an obnoxious punk. I get it, she wants to defend her brother. But this isn't normal behavior. I would make it clear that he needs to respect you and your home, and your dog, if he wants to come over. Not the asshole. He's old enough to know better and he was endangering an animal. Not the asshole. That was hardly a threat. Not the asshole. Maybe I'm just an overprotective dog lover, but I'm on your side here. It's easy to hide behind the "he's just a kid" excuse. I'd get it a little more if he was 12 or something, but the dude's 16. He's old enough to know better. Fact of the matter is, he's being disrespectful and he needs to know that respect is a requirement in your house. Give him warnings, but if he doesn't listen, I say give him the boot. Pet your dog for me. He's just a kid, you know. What was her point? He's a kid, so put up with his assholish behavior and not teach him any manners? He's probably coddled a lot in his house, but as long as he's in your house, he should obey your rules. I said, and one day he'll be a man with no respect or empathy for others. Very well put. His behavior with someone else's pet is already a red flag as to how he was raised. Not the asshole, and follow through with your threat if he misbehaves. Not the asshole. Like most internet people, I draw a firm line at messing with animals, or just whoever can't defend themselves. 16 is old enough to drive and get a job, nearly finishing school and going out into the world. That should be old enough to be firmly informed there are consequences for being an asshole. You didn't even kick him out, just said that you would if he kept terrorizing your dog. That's just good pet ownership. Not the asshole. Not only would I have threatened to kick his ass out, I would have actually done it. I cannot stand the "he's just a kid" excuse. So what? It's not like a switch is going to flip and he'll realize what a little shit he's being, especially if no one ever calls him on it. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. This isn't just a kid territory. Tell her she can go visit her brother elsewhere. I wouldn't dare let anyone who did that to my dog back in my house. Not the asshole. He abused your dog and she could have been seriously injured. If he wants to come to your house, he needs to treat you, your girlfriend, and your dog with respect. It sounds like he's used to getting away with shit and someone has to put a stop to it before something really bad happens. NTA, teach the kid what it's like to be tossed in the air. Little animal abuser. Not the asshole at all. He is 16, he is a young adult, not a child. He was behaving like a 6-year-old. Your girlfriend needs to treat him like the young adult that he is and not excuse this rude, disrespectful and dangerous, roughly handling your dog behavior. Not the asshole sounds more like a sociopath than a kid. If his sister does not see that, she must be numb to his actions. Who the hell tosses a dog in the air? There should have been no threats to send him home. He should have been gone and told not to return. I certainly would not feel safe in the same house as that little future serial killer. Let's look at the facts and signs of being a sociopath. 1. Lack of empathy. Check. 2. Manipulativeness. Check. 3. Difficulty with relationships. Check. 4. Callousness. Check. Tortures animals. 5. Deceitfulness. You tell me. 6. Hostility. Check. 7. Impulsivity. Check. 8. Irresponsibility. Check. 9. Risky behavior. Check. C. 410. No respect for people or their property. Check. I don't care. It should be an example of a sociopath. Not the asshole. He's just a kid. Applies when you're 5 and there's no way you can know the full consequences of your actions. When you're 16, you are a young adult. You can and should understand that actions have consequences. Chances are you're the first person to ever tell him no, and mean it, which is why your girlfriend gave you a crazy look. Chances are his parents say, "He's just a kid," and ignore his behavior. Not the asshole. He's not a kid. He's a teenager. And actual younger children are smart enough to know not to throw animals around. He needs to learn about respect now before he learns in harsher ways. Not the asshole. He's obviously testing boundaries, but he still sounds like a little shit. My sister had 3 boys and even as teenagers none of them would have ever done any of these things. If this is real, you need to have a whole lot of parenting conversations with girlfriend if you are thinking this relationship will involve having kids in the future. Not the asshole. Protect your dog. Do not allow disrespect of yourself or your property by a teenager. Girlfriend is probably mad because she feels embarrassed by her brother. Easier to be mad at you. Not the asshole. This 16-year-old will be an adult in under 2 years, and is checking for boundaries, the way a toddler does to see what they can get away with. Not the asshole. At 16 he should know basic manners, respect. Hopefully he snaps out of the edgy asshole phase when he gets older. But your girlfriend making excuses for him is just gonna prolong it. And no one want'd to deal with a 20+ years old obnoxious prick. Not the asshole. He's 16. In the US that's old enough to get a driver's license and drive a 2-ton hunk of metal around. It's old enough to start considering where you want to go to college and what job you would like. It's old enough to get a part-time job. If he was 6 he's a kid. 16 is damn near an adult. His sister needs to wake the fuck up. He could have seriously injured your dog. Not because you were wrong to threaten him, on the contrary, but because you did not actually follow through. He is 16. He knew perfectly well what he was doing with the dog was wrong, and now faced no serious consequences for it. Next time, actually punish him. Not the asshole. He needs to learn some manners. Not the asshole at all. Unless you mistyped he is not a little kid. Do not allow him to behave like that. Especially mistreating your dog. It is your obligation to protect the dog. He either behaves or he is not welcome. How is this even a discussion? I wouldn't accept that behavior from a 3-year-old. NTA just kids turn into just adults. Correct it while it's happening now like you did. Not the asshole. He needed to be disciplined years ago. It's clear his family has been letting him get away with a lot growing up. You need to talk to your girlfriend and tell her you won't tolerate anyone giving you attitude or threatening your things or best friends in your own home. If she doesn't like it, find someone who won't tolerate that same behavior. You are the asshole towards your dog because you did not kick the brat out after that throwing in the air. Not the asshole, and your girlfriend needs to stop enabling him, she's only adding to the problem. Not the asshole. I'd have literally thrown him out, and broken up with his sister if she had a problem with it. If someone in my house is abusing animals, they go. 16 is nearing adulthood and I don't know why your girlfriend insists on babying him like he's still 6. He has to be held accountable for his actions and it wouldn't help if people made excuses such as, he's just a kid, for him. Not the asshole. And one day he'll be a man with no respect of empathy for others. It almost always starts with animals. Kids who torment animals because they're small and powerless tend to grow up and start doing it to people. The fact that he only stopped when he was threatened shows that he didn't care about your poor dog at all, and just himself. Also, calling his mom is hardly a threat. If he can't respect you or your property then he needs to leave. Not the asshole. Do not threaten, just follow through. Tell them both that the next time he is disrespectful he is getting sent home. Then do it. Do not hem and haw about it. Absolutely not the asshole. He is 16 years old, not 6. He's plenty old enough to know how to act and respect others, including animals. I'd kick him out just for mistreating the dog. The rest of his nasty attitude is just extra fuel on the fire. 16 is old enough to know what the fuck you're doing. Her stupid response shows how he was raised. He's gonna have a big reality check when he grows up. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Someone who throws and harasses a dog is evil in my eyes. Hope the poor baby is alright. Not the asshole, and here's why. 1. Sure, he's 16 and at that age he's going to be generally obnoxious when bored, self-conscious, or uncomfortable. 2. Your house, your rules. Doesn't seem like you went over the top in enforcing them. 3. Your GF's wrong with, he's just a kid, sure, he's a teen, but even at 16 he should already understand to behave better at someone else's house. Pro tip. Wait till emotions have run their course, then bring it up with your GF. Reasonable boundaries are good, and anyone visiting your house or involved in your life should follow them. Not the asshole. And not to sound super paranoid, but I would not be able to trust him around my dog, like at all. Holy shit, a 6-year-old would know better than to throw a frightened little dog up into the air. He's not just a kid. He's 16. Of course you should kick him out. Don't let him back in. And if the girlfriend thinks throwing your dog up in the air is okay, I'm kind of thinking you may want to reconsider whether you want to let her back in the house. Not the asshole. He'll become an adult who thinks he can get away with things if you didn't put your foot down. He's not a kid. I don't know if your girlfriend's perception skill is working okay, but he's not a kid and his behavior is not acceptable at such age. Not the asshole. Not the asshole, he's not a kid, he's a nearly grown-up asshole. I am the sister of a 10 years younger brother and can't stand him more than 2 hours for same reasons. Not the asshole. 1. He's not a kid. 2. He's not in his home, it's in yours, your house, your rules. 3. He's rude as fuck and needs to get out ASAP. Sis can hang out with her kid, brother in their parents' home, or anywhere else but your home. Or the teen can learn to act like a decent human being, and treat people respectfully, not like servants. You're not the asshole, but from the way he only stopped being a brat after you threatened to have his parents fetch him and bring him home, and from the way your girlfriend reacted to your reasonable reaction. What are their parents like? Are they neglectful? Do they fight a lot? Do your girlfriend and her brother not feel safe there? 16-year-olds who act as beastly as he did with your dog either learned it from their elders, or are used to acting out for attention. That doesn't justify his behavior at all, but maybe you and your girlfriend could get to the bottom of it and lay down the law if he wants to hang out with you guys, namely, getting him to mind his manners and to treat the dog like a member of the household instead of a ball toss around. It sounds he could use some therapy. 16 is not a kid. 6 is a kid. 16 is within striking distance of adulthood, and honestly, I'd have expected better behavior out of a 10-year-old. Not the asshole. Plus, what do you think would have happened if a panicked dog bit him? A calm, rational discussion or anger and arguments. What a punk. Not the asshole. Holy fuck, it's time to teach your ignorant girlfriend that her brother is a fucking tyrant. And you don't give a shit if she's trying to protect his ridiculous ass. If she prefers to protect him, then you'll be moving on to protecting yourself, and not giving 2 shits, 3 fucks, or 1 damn. Jesus, not the asshole. I have to disagree with you though, op. I don't think that he'll ever be a man. Seems like he'll just be a twisted little child for the rest of his life. Not the asshole. 6 is a child. 16 is 2 years shy of a adult. You was in the right and your girlfriend is salty about it, but even she knows you're right. Very soon he's going to be in the adult world, it's time he grew up.